Tie me to the altar. Oh Jesus, I don't care if I scream. Tie me to the altar. Oh, till I fulfill your dream. Come on, everybody, sing tonight.
Tie me to the altar.
I don't care if I scream.
I don't care if I scream.
So tie me to the altar, Lord.
Tie me to the altar.
Till I fulfill your dream, Lord.
I fulfill your dream.
Tie me to the altar, Lord.
Tie me to the altar.
Hello everybody out there, this is your boy Tobi Arayomi.
And Tomi Arayomi.
We are on the table again. Cue the music.
We all have a life.
No west, no bed. No ringy, no doobie. Female, no female. Come on!
So hey guys, welcome to On the Table. It's so good to be back. We decided that we're going to do these programs once a week now.
Yes.
And we're going to tease it out across the week in tinier segments for those of you who can't yet handle the full thing. But we hope you tune into the full thing because these are amazing
They have
conversations.
been really insightful conversations, yeah.
Yeah, and I've enjoyed doing it with you, which
Yeah,
is
you're
nice.
alright, you're alright.
Corona 5? There we go. Okay, so today's discussion, we are talking about TikTok.
Ooh.
Now, for those of you out there who are parents or from the mature generation and you don't know yet what TikTok is basically a app
For people
for
with ADHD. It's like
Oh,
you're
man,
literally
come on.
video, like 5 seconds. It's just, and
It's
it's
a-
on the next.
it's a pretty
more
cool app.
addictive than Instagram.
Yeah, and it's been downloaded by 1/7 of the world's population. Over 1
Wow.
billion people. I may not have the exact numbers, but over 1 billion people are on TikTok. It's more downloaded than Facebook, more downloaded than Instagram, more downloaded than Twitter. It's actually the fastest growing app right now in
Wow.
the world. And the reason we're talking about it is because TikTok is cool. It's everywhere. Everywhere I look, TikTok. My YouTube, TikTok. Every bit of social media I have is broadcasting. Download this app, download this app. Now, it used to be called Musical.ly. Do you want to silence your phone? You're getting a lot of messages coming through.
Sorry.
It's all right. This is live TV.
Oh my god.
Now, it used to be called Musical.ly,
Yeah.
which was like a dance app that was pretty cool. Then all of a sudden it became TikTok, and everyone's telling me to download it. But I'm going to be really spiritual when I say this. I get really cautious about things that everybody's doing.
Right.
Because something in me just goes,
The
narrows
herd
away.
mentality. And you got like all these sheep running somewhere towards the
Somewhere.
slaughter.
Exactly.
And do you want to be that? But I'll be honest, I've been tempted
You're
to
on
get
Tik-
it.
Are you not on it?
No, not yet.
My
I've
wife
been
is on
looking
it.
at because business, things
Yeah,
are moving
yeah,
at such a
I've
fast
got you.
rate. I want to be on there. I don't want to be on there to do that.
The challenges.
I'm not there for that. I'm there simply for business. It's people. It's an audience. With everything, even if we discuss the dark side of TikTok, with everything, there's a plus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it still means approach with some sense of eyes wide open, caution. I think when you know what's going on, you know how to regulate your own behavior.
Yeah, but the thing about technology today is it's disguised in coolness.
Right.
It's like everybody's on it. Will Smith is on it. All these celebrities on it. I gotta be on this too. But we don't see what's really going on in the background. With all these challenges. What's that challenge you were just talking about? I don't know what it is.
But don't rush.
No, there's There's a mama's one too, isn't there, Nissy?
An auntie's one.
An auntie's one.
Aunties, they with their wooden spoon, they're in the kitchen cooking, wooden spoon, pow, they change into their gelet, everything.
I have to look that
So,
up.
see,
love
we're
it.
talking to
My
we'll
wife
put it up.
did one.
We'll put it
Your
up so
wife
people can
did
watch
one.
it.
Yeah.
Our wives are in the same.
Our wives are on one. Everybody's doing this, and when everybody's doing something, I slam the brakes. I have to be honest. It may be a natural skepticism on the inside of me that makes me go, why are we doing this? Why are so many people downloading this app? So we've done some research. But before we do, I just want to get your comment, because I put out this prophetic word this year. I want to get your comment, your take on this, and you guys watching today can comment in the description as well.
The Lord says the year 2020 will be a year of democracy meets technocracy. The key players of 2020 will join the race for automation, environmental change, and surveillance in the guise of security. This will lead to an increased power in CEOs of tech over chief executives of state.
What's your take?
Whoa. That's like tinfoil hat stuff. That's deep. That's deep. I mean, you're talking about what's happening right now with, I always get it wrong, 5G or G5. I think it's 5G.
5G. It's
with
5G,
5G
not
tech.
G5.
G5, that was uncle moves.
That was uncle level.
The G5.
The new G5 that you children are on today.
The children are using.
Keep
No,
going.
5G technology. I'm talking about what you're seeing, what this happening with just about every single social media platform out there are holding the most valuable commodity in the whole world. Data.
Data
is money.
huge.
It's money.
It's huge.
If I know what you like to eat, what you like to wear, where you like to go, do you know how easy it is to sell now?
Exactly.
Because now, I tested this, and tell me if I'm going crazy. But I just was sat with someone, and I said, Nike, 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 Nike. And then I go on YouTube to see what adverts show up. Nike. I was like, is my computer spying on me?
Well, let's talk about this, because democracy is hopefully what the majority of us get to enjoy. Hopefully in the UK, hopefully in Europe, hopefully in America, the land of the free. But lately we've seen this
Freedom's being
massive
stripped away.
erosion
around
freedom. Pastors being arrested, people's in America's
People
gun
for
rights being
speaking
taken
their
away.
opinion. Yeah.
People being arrested for speaking their opinion. Us with our videos on YouTube being demonetized. By the way, if you want to keep us going, please donate and give, because we ain't making money
YouTube does
anymore.
not want to monetize their protected species.
Exactly.
You know, they got these endangered species on YouTube that you just don't touch. If you talk about them, the powers that be will take your money.
Anytime I talk about CNN, whoops, MSNBC, whoops, or
Muslims,
fake news, or Islam, or feminism, transgenderism, we automatically get demonetized. And so I don't care. I'm not going to stop speaking the truth about these things, but I think there's something that's not being reported enough on. And kudos to our media, and kudos to politicians both on the left and on the right for talking about the danger of this coming technocratic society.
Yeah.
Now, let's just cue another video just to kind of help you know what TikTok's about and what's been going on.
TikTok is taking teenagers by storm.
Rise and shine.
The video sharing app boasts 500 million users, providing a seemingly endless stream of cats, celebs, even politicians like NDP leader Jagmeet Singh.
Nope. Yep.
But an app popular for its light-hearted silliness is now facing some serious controversy. TikTok is owned by a tech company based in Beijing And a growing chorus of U.S. lawmakers are now calling for an investigation into whether the app could pose a national security risk.
This is a threat to American security. When China has data on 110 million Americans, who knows what they do with it?
TikTok's terms and conditions says it collects user data, including your location, your IP address, and device information. You can also opt in to share your gender, your age, contacts, even payment information. In a statement, TikTok says all of that data is stored entirely outside of China and not subject to Chinese law. But data security experts aren't so sure.
There is a law in China saying that wherever required from the government, they can access anything inside the company.
That law requires Chinese companies to hand over personal data to the Chinese government upon request.
That law is untested outside of China.
Philip Mai says those data privacy concerns extend to many other popular Chinese apps, such as WeChat or Grindr, the world's largest LGBTQ2 dating app. The Trump administration has demanded that Grindr be sold to a non-Chinese company.
Part of this, I think, is because there is a little bit of economic rivalry between the US and China, but also part of it is that basically there are clear differences in privacy law.
TikTok has also been accused of censoring videos that mention Tiananmen Square or Tibetan independence, further fueling fears that, if pressured, the company might be willing to share more than your cat video. Jeff Semple, Global News, Toronto.
So, Toby,
Crazy.
here we come back to China.
So TikTok is this Chinese-owned company.
It's not Chinese-owned. So it's owned by a company, but according to Chinese law, it's part owned by the Chinese government. And there is a law in China that contravenes any other law, that companies like this have to hand over the data of 1 billion users, your kids, your family members, 1 billion users to the Chinese Communist Party. Now, my question is, what does Chinese Communist Party want with my kids' data? And by the way, to be on TikTok, all you have to be is over 13 years old.
Or pretend to be.
Or at least pretend to be over 13 years old. That is scary. And just to make things worse, both on the left and on the right, thank God, they are talking about subpoenaing TikTok to come before Congress in the US and explain if they're handing over data to the Chinese government.
Yeah.
They have refused every single subpoena.
And they can
not
because
showed
they're
up.
such a powerful economy.
Exactly.
I mean, you're the second largest economy in the whole world. The US owes you trillions of dollars. They're holding you hostage. Now, at any time, they could sell off that debt to another country. So you can see there will be power posturing on both sides.
Yeah, but for US company, TikTok is in the US as well.
Yeah.
And so for the US counterparts to fail to show up for a legally binding subpoena speaks
volumes to the power
exactly
that China has in the US. But also, the US has power in China that a lot of people aren't aware of. Actually, Huawei, for example, very high sales of Huawei phones. I was looking at this just the other day. Very high sales of Huawei phones. Am I pronouncing Huawei right? In the US. But Apple phones outsold Huawei in China. So actually, on both sides, there's a bit of a power play.
But
now,
Huawei's a Chinese company.
Right. But why is it selling so well in America? There's a lot of stuff going on. This is why there was this whole Huawei war. China is actually quite a scary beast when you study it.
Very scary
Because
beast.
China had this conversation called Made in China 2025. And this is when, you can check this online. This is where because you have a country, in the land of the free, we have our own issues. Part of our issues in the land of the free markets. It's great. It's wonderful, but it has its problems. Things move slow.
Yeah.
You want to pass a law? we got to argue this, that, and get through this person.
But in authoritarian governments, I mean, you saw the way they treated people in India.
Yeah.
Not saying but you saw the way they treated people in China
Yeah.
who had coronavirus or even the fear of it.
Their own
They would
people.
hammer and nail them into their houses.
Their own people. But you do that in America or England, my rights, the law. But see, in these countries, the ideology is so communist in nature, and so much control has been given to their government that they're actually, how did this economy move from being one of the lowest in the world in a very short period of time to being the top? Because by
Obama.
Oh, okay, we'll get to Obama.
Let me just say
you want to
that
come
right
for
now.
Obama.
No.
There's a lot of Obama lovers on here.
Yeah, but
and they don't know why they love Obama. He's black, basically. He's black.
Yeah.
That's why they love
But it
him.
was Obama.
But they don't know anything beyond that. I think even Nissy's in the office right now. We've got to be careful about what we say in front of Nissy T.
Conversation today, I'm not doing this.
But it was Obama. Obama decided to be fair to China, to even give them a seat at the United Nations. Obama decided that it was going to pull itself back from the world market, get rid of the manufacturing industries of America, and pawn off all of these factories to China.
Creating a greater deficit, trade deficit
Exactly.
between the US and China.
Think about this.
They charge the US more in terms of
Exactly.
than the Americans show. Like, what kind of sense was that? So this guy
he was talking about being
comes
fair.
in, and Trump's like, what's going on?
Exactly.
If a business is running and it's losing more money than it's making,
Exactly.
a country's like a giant business, so you kind of need a Trump for the times to say,
oh boy, we just lost half our viewers right
We lost
there.
half of them.
We got
We
two
lost
black
half of them.
people
But
saying,
what-
we need a Trump.
A racist, homophobe, bigoted, you know. We've got to wake up.
We have to. There has to be an awakening because people are so oblivious to going on. And that's why we have this program on the table. So back to your talk about China. What were you saying?
Yeah, so by 2025, sorry, I've got these notes properly on my phone. They had something called Made in China 2025. This is why I can't do on the tables with you.
Sorry,
Why is that funny?
It's just,
Because
it's
it
just
said
the
Made
irony.
in China.
Made in
But
China.
that's what they called it. They called
It's
it
like
Made in China
everything made in
2025
China.
because you realize their entire economy is not built on innovation. It's built on copying.
Yes.
That's
And
the
not just
entire
copying,
economy.
undercutting the competition by lower wages on that it exacts on its workers.
Absolutely.
And in fairness to them, we're letting it happen.
Yes.
We're buying from companies where they exact a heavy amount on their workers and then saying, oh, we're all for fair trade. But what about China, where the biggest amount of abuses of workers goes on presently?
Yeah. So Made in China basically says this. It's got some principles. Chinese government pressured private companies to adjust their vision to China 2025 vision. So you're talking about TikTok and all those companies. They actually pressure them to adjust the entire vision to support China 2025. Because their goal, by the way, by 2025 is to be the number one economy in the whole world. That's the goal. Guys, we're in 2020.
We're in 2020.
We're in 2020. The other goal is provide subsidies, 300 billion worth of investors to those companies that agree. Can you imagine? All these companies in China, like TikTok and the likes of them, can receive 300 billion from their government in terms of subsidies, and these are low interest loans that they can receive. Then foreign investments and acquisitions in government. So they said part of their plan 2025 is to invest in as much foreign investments as possible. So you see them building bridges in Nigeria
and Africa, building train stations in Nigeria, building train stations in Kenya, building infrastructure in South Africa, in Malawi.
And do you know what they say? You don't have to pay for it. We'll build it for free. What you don't realize is you're going to be paying for that for the rest of your life in terms of taxes. They're going to keep the royalties on that forever. But
what do you think about this idea of kind of economic colonialism? Do you believe that there's a form? Now we're not dogging China. We're dogging the corrupt Chinese communist government. But do you think there is something to be said for economic colonialism?
For sure. I don't ever think spirits leave the earth. They rebrand. They upgrade. That's all they do. They just change their face and do the same thing. It's the same spirit. It just gets smarter. It gets more intelligent.
We saw this, and I thought it was hugely racist. And I'm not one to call the race card, but where Chinese officials were keeping Nigerians in quarantine longer, saying that they're causing coronavirus. That just got on my nerves. And thank God the Nigerian government actually stepped up and sat down with the ambassador live on TV, showed them the video of what they were doing, and asked them to respond right there and then.
Good.
Because I thought everything that these, the Communist Party of China, again, we're not dogging China. Chinese people are amazing. We're dogging that terrible party that even China itself is fighting against. Every time they do something, they spread propaganda, and the WHO helps them spread these lies that it's caused by this and it's caused by that. Oh, America did it. Oh, the black people have done it who have come into our country. This started in Wuhan, China, when China sent 5 million known infected passengers around the world.
You need to say that because a lot of people don't actually know that. What happened there?
China found out about this virus outbreak in 2019. In the year of the rat, which, by the way, I think is real prophetic because rats carry infectious diseases.
The plague,
Let me just say that right now.
The bubonic plague.
In the year of the rat, just when China found out, they allowed 5 million passengers, known infected passengers, to fly around the world to celebrate the year of the rat. So they celebrated it in New York. We saw...
How did they know they're infected?
Because they already had the report from the doctors. There were these doctors disappearing who were reporting it. One of them died of the COVID-19 virus. Another one, we don't know where they are. They just disappear. And all of a sudden, they had all this information. The WHO had all this information.
Do you know what's interesting too, though? There was an article we were listening to just before we joined that just to end the there was a trade war before COVID-19.
And then there was a trade agreement.
Exactly. And in that agreement, ironically, there was a small print that says,
a clause,
we do not have to keep up to the terms of this agreement if there is an act of God.
And an act of God
within the space of a week
is also defined as a virus outbreak.
And within the space of a week, there's this act of God, and these people are released all over the world.
People, something is going on, and people have got to wake up to it.
Yeah,
it's happening right before our very eyes, and there are people benefiting from this crisis. Listen, so we decided that we were going to do the boring work for our audience, and we were going to read through TikTok's terms and conditions. I know that boring stuff that nobody ever reads. We're going to pull it up on the screen right now so that you guys can listen in with us. So here is TikTok's terms and conditions. Listen. We read through this whole thing and highlighted key points that we think is really important. This is literally from their website. Listen to this. We also collect information contained in the messages you send through our platform and information from your phone book. If you grant us access to your phone book on your mobile device. So they collect your contacts, they collect your family. Think about a 13-year-old joins TikTok. Their mum doesn't join, their dad doesn't join. But because they joined, they know your mum, they know your dad. You have given that child permission, your child who's on TikTok doing all these cool things, you've given them access to your entire family's life just through one child. Just pause on that for a second. But let's go deeper. Your phone and social network contacts with your permission. If you choose to find other users through your phone contacts, we will access and collect the names and phone numbers and match that information against existing users of the platform. If you choose to find others users through your social network contacts, we will collect your public profile information as well as names and profiles of your social contacts. Do you want to read the next one?
Information you share through surveys or your participation in challenges, sweepstakes, or contests, such as your gender, age, and likeness and preferences.
So even your sexual preferences. So when you do those challenges, what was that challenge? Hashtag
whatever.
Huh? Don't rush challenge. They are collecting data from you just doing the challenges.
Wow.
Just look at this one. Social media. If you choose to link or sign in using any other social media, such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or Google, we may collect information from these social media services, including your contact lists for these services and information relating to your use of the platform in relation to these services. So TikTok is not just collecting your data from TikTok, they're collecting your data from your Facebook page, your Twitter page, your Google account, email addresses. They even collect your PayPal card details.
Whoa.
Just think about that. Sometimes other users of the platform may provide us information about you, including through customer service inquiries. We may collect information about you from other publicly available services. Now let's look at what they automatically collect. The moment you sign up, we automatically collect certain information from you when you use the platform, including internet or other network activity, your IP address, your geolocation related data, unique device identifiers. So we're talking about facial recognition, fingerprint, thumbprints, browsing and search history.
Ooh.
Hello. Some of y'all got to be careful about your search history because they're collecting your browsing and search history. We collect information about the device you use to access the platform, including your IP address, unique device identifiers, model of your device, mobile carrier, time zone settings, screen resolution, operating systems, app and file names and types, keystrokes, patterns, or rhythms and platform. We collect information, including information based on your SIM card and your IP address. With your permission, we also collect your global positioning system data. So they're tracking where you are at any given moment. We also collect messages. We're talking about private messages sent throughout the app. They screen record and analyze information you provide or you're composing or sending or receiving. This is right in their terms and conditions. I've just highlighted a few. Our service providers and business partners may use this information to display advertisements on our platform and elsewhere online and across your devices tailored to your interests, preferences, and characteristics. Watch this. We are not responsible for the privacy practices of these service providers and businesses and information practices of these service providers and business partners. So if somebody uses your information that they got from TikTok, TikTok takes no responsibility. You can't sue them because you signed up. Now, this is the part that got to me. I'm just going to read this final part. Legal purposes. We may disclose your information. Look at this. To respond to subpoenas, court orders, legal processes, law enforcement requests, legal claims, or government inquiries, and to protect and defend the rights, interests, safety, and security of TikTok. Not you, the platform, and our affiliate users or the public. We may also share your information to enforce any terms applicable to the platform, to exercise or defend any legal claims, and comply with any applicable laws. In other words, if they are sued by you, or if they are brought before court, no, this is the part they're saying. We can disclose your information to protect us. Ooh. So they already have a case about you. They have your fingerprint. They have your face.
Your browsing history.
They know where you've been. They know what websites you're on. They collect not just your data, but your metadata. They know your face, your fingerprint, your kids' names. And you're just posting nice fluffy cats, by the way. And let me tell you who part owns this. The authoritarian government of China now knows what your 13-year-old looks like, likes to wear, likes to eat, likes to drink. If that's not surveillance, I don't know what is. Help me.
But you know, actually, that there's a part in the plan for 2025 for the government of China to set up and own tech companies. That's part of their plan for 2025. It's the equivalent of the CIA owning, which they kind of do in America, some Hollywood and filming industries. But it's the equivalent of them owning that. And the power of this that a lot of people don't get. They're like, well, what's wrong with this? It's data. It's information. Exactly. It's the ability to spy. It's the ability to know exactly what you need. It's the ability to socially hypnotize people. It's the ability to control people. This is data. The worldview that we're coming into, especially in China, because Chinese worship technology quite a lot, and you can see evidence of that. The worship of technology literally in China. They see you as data. They see you as noughts and ones. They see you as a product to sell to and to be sold. And so the scary part is, where's it going? It can be used as a force of good. Data can always be used as a force of good. I'm sure if you check Instagram, they also have huge amounts of data.
All of them track us. Facebook, Instagram, they're all tracking us. The danger is that what happens if that data all gets in the wrong hands? And unfortunately, China's the poster child right now because they're an authoritarian government. Imagine no real human rights record, no independent courts in China. Imagine that much power in their hands. Guys, we got to take a break. We're halfway through. But listen, if you like our caps, check it out. My brother's wearing I Am Prophet because that's who he is. I'm wearing I Am Apostle because that's who we are. And it's the Real Identity caps. Check it out on our store. It's rignation.org/store, and thanks JC, and you can check that out. They're awesome clothing. They're also here on the YouTube video in different colors. You want to buy those as well. But listen, we have a powerful prophetic course that we also want you to be a part of. So here is JC to tell you how you can be a part of that course, and we'll be right back. Listen, there is so much more to break into. We're going to share with you a video about what the Chinese Communist Party is doing with your children and your TikTok data. You're not going to want to miss this.
Welcome to Rig Nation. To register for Rig Soap Online, simply open up your browser and go to rigeurope.org. Once the website populates, click on Rig Online. While there, it will prompt you to create a username and password. Be sure to memorize this because this is what you will use to log into the website in the future. Click on Check Plans. Here we have 4 payment options for you to choose from. Choose the payment option that best suits you. After you have done so, let me be the first to welcome you to Rig Soap Online. Get rigged.
Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you guys are going to join the prophetic training, because let me tell you, it will blow your mind. There's 100 teachings, 100 plus activations, which I believe will genuinely bless you. How many students do we have, by the way, in total, online and on site?
Online and on site, we have, I think, 79?
We have, we have 80 students in Nigeria alone. So we have way more than that. We have hundreds of students. Let's just pause there. We'll count it later. We'll have hundreds of students. I encourage you to be a part of it. Also, we have an app called Rig Nation. It's the fastest growing social media app in the world, and you're going to want to get it. If you want to get off these social media apps that are full of bias, and you want to post in a community of thousands of people who are all just sharing with camaraderie their videos, their posts, their things, download the Rig Nation app by searching in your Android and App Store, Rig Nation. Do it today. You're not going to regret it. It's an amazing social media app. And we have amazing teachers on there. This week, by the way, this Wednesday, we have Bill Johnson's son from Bethel Church.
Wow.
Eric Johnson is going to be teaching on the app. So make sure, search in your store, Rig Nation, Android and app, it's available there. Let's get back to this discussion. My brother in the break said something really important. Like, he was like, do we want people to get off of TikTok? Isn't it the way the world is going anyway? Yeah. Listen, these things are unavoidable, aren't they?
I know in the comments we're gonna get some people. We do read the comments sometimes, and it's like, whoa.
We're reading them right now.
Some people, some people be cool, some people be crazy, you know? And so sometimes we see some comments, and I know right now there's going to be, that's it, right. No TikTok, get your children off. But I think one of the things that my brother was mentioning is, listen, you don't have a choice when you join TikTok. This is part of it. But you can actually go in and opt out of all these things. And I would...
you can with certain parameters. And here's the danger. And I'm going to pull this up because I want to give people some hardline facts. This is in their terms and conditions as well. You may be able to refuse or disable cookies by adjusting your browser settings. So the things you can do in your phone, if you Google it,
on as
to block on your kids' phones these cookies, which are ways that they track what your kids are doing on other platforms, which I think you should disable anyway. Your mobile device may include a feature that allows you to opt out of the targeted advertising. So you may be able to opt out. And on your phone, you may be able to opt out of tracking. Tracking is literally what it says. They can track your movements. And so if you turn off the geolocation access for your kids and for yourself, you may be able to make it a little bit safer. You can switch off GPS location information functionality on your mobile phone. So it's not about making TikTok safer. Actually, it's about making your mobile phone safer. So the TikTok and the Chinese Communist Party,
I can see the benefit of being on all these platforms to a business person, because this is audience again, it's a consumer base. But I think we should be wise. We should be vigilant. We should do our research. We shouldn't be yes people.
Just accepting terms and
jump
conditions
on everything we see. I mean, how many people even read the terms of conditions?
Who reads them these days?
Before they join.
We do.
That could say, we have the right to take your children out of your home. And you go, yeah. Do I get to do the Don't Rush challenge, though? And it's like,
bro, go home. You're getting misbehaving again. No. I haven't seen this whole interview. Now you are starting to misbehave.
Okay.
Okay, let's just get back to the terms and conditions and see some other things you can do. Children, right? The privacy policy for children is different. So there's certain protections for your children. I encourage you to read this. It's long, but it's worth it. Content removal. You can actually write to the platform to remove your content from the platform. Let's say you do want to leave, you can write to them. But again, only if you're in California. See,
so go to California, turn
exactly.
on your geolocation,
and even then,
write to them and say, get
exactly. And even then, in the subject, you have to say California removal request. If you're not from California,
or, I know how to do it. Put a VPN on your computer, bounce your IP address from California, write that thing.
Did you write that all down? I hope you did. Okay. In certain circumstances, you have the right in relation to your information, such as the right to deletion, the right to access, and the right of portability. So there are certain circumstances. I encourage
let's face it, if this is a Chinese company and they say we've deleted your information, have they really deleted your information? I mean, if you look at the employment figures for China, it looks great. Employment is at an all-time low in China.
Yeah. Really? You look at the coronavirus cases in China. It's at
you think only 2 people caught it.
Is it really, though? So, yeah, you're right. Do they tell the truth? I don't think so. So now for the shocking videos. We saved some of the shocking videos till now. Okay, I want to show this first video by the BBC. And basically what the BBC is doing is they set up an experiment to see how quickly the police can catch them. But just look at how data is being abused in authoritarian government. Now, this could be any government. Listen, this one day could be Russia, which we argue about whether or not they're powerful. But this could be Russia. This could be the Middle Eastern countries one day, like Iran. Imagine if they got this power.
But let's face it, this
could be
is
America.
Where the world is going.
It could be America.
We can only slow down.
But you want this. But you want this to be in the power of at least people with a moral compass. At least people who say they're democratic. I mean, America and the UK, our freedoms are questionable because when crisis hits, our churches get shut down, yet the liquor store stays open, or the abortion clinic stays open as a necessary company. And so you can question those freedoms, but at least we have the right to fight our government. In an authoritarian government, there are things like Hong Kong, which were removed from social media platforms, and Facebook and Twitter complied. All of these companies complied because everybody's trying to make China right now the new world power and the leader of the world stage. And I think it's incredibly dangerous.
Trying to make China but it's a Game of Thrones.
It is a Game of Thrones.
It's a Game of Thrones.
Not that we watch Game of Thrones because we're born again.
That's a lie.
Oh, we just got blasted.
We just got thumbs down on this video.
Okay, let's get back to reality. Let me show this video. All right, check this out.
现在2号机是锁起门的。对，就是这的。
Well, let's see how long it takes you to find me. Thank you very much. Let's go.
我们可以追溯到说，出现每一张脸都可以对应说他的身份证，以及他所经过，比方说在过去1周，我们回溯他的行经路程， 我们也做了像人和车的匹配。那同时在人上匹配还包括亲属关系匹配，然后是你经常接触人员之间匹配。就是当摄像机布到或者我们传感器布到一定密度的时候，其实我们会经常知道你跟谁经常在一起。
Well, here we are then. I just got out of the car, close to the city centre, and for the purposes of this exercise, the plan is for me to start walking in the direction of the bus station. My image has already been flagged to the authorities as a suspect, and in theory, it should only be a matter of time. So already on this bridge, I can see 1, 2, 3 CCTV cameras. Of course, there's no point hiding from them. Just keep on walking.
可以呢，不一定非要从门里头通过，他就站在。哎，对，就是这里，就是这里。有没有看过？安全通道。对，就是这里。
Uh-oh. Right behind me, you can see just over my left shoulder there. Hello, guys. I've been expecting you. Maybe these guys aren't in on the joke.
那么对平民老百姓，是老百姓需要帮助的时候，我们才会录入这套系统。那他不需要帮助的这种情况，那么我们是不需要采集他的信息的。那这种信息只是在我们大数据里面有他的信息就行了。那在什么时候使用，是根据我们的需要来做这项工作的。
If you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear.
对，是这样。所以说，老百姓应该不用担心。
你觉得为什么他
摄像头？
对，
因为现在民怨沸腾，就是它真正的用来预防犯罪的效果很少，反对的、不同意见的。那我觉得每天你都感觉到有一只眼睛盯着你，一只无心的眼睛，不管你干什么事儿，你总是有所顾忌。高科技为那个警察维稳提供了方便，所以他们的思路如果不改变，对这么一些意见人士，然后进行监控。可能是起了更大的作用。
Would it worry you to know that your every move, your every association was being watched? Does that change something fundamental?
Honestly, I won't feel very comfortable. There's a certain level of discomfort. First, I think technology by itself is a tool for human being, just like a weapon. If it is in the wrong hands, like in a terrorist hands, it might do very bad things, right? But government do develop weapons. I think there are reasons that technology keep advancing, like artificial intelligence. It can be applied to do a lot of good things.
Hey, what were you just saying when you were watching that?
I said this is the left-wing BBC reporting on a communist nation when the left-wing BBC are all for communism and the rich are terrible. When the left-wing BBC is reporting on this, you know we got problems.
But you know what they say? A broken clock is right at least twice a day.
Correct.
And so these guys have got something right in them when they're reporting on this. I love the fact, what stood out to me most in that video, it was a poet that's fighting against it. I actually felt the Spirit of God rising in me there, that this fight, if you're in entertainment, if you're in media, if you're famous and you're watching us right now, you need to fight this fight in your music, in your raps, in your songs. You've got to start raising awareness of this.
If God's given you influence, he's given you responsibility.
Say that again. Shikarabata.
What's wrong with you?
Every now and again. Every now and again. You come up with something. Say it again. You can't remember it, can you?
If God's given you influence, he's given you responsibility.
Wow. I'm telling you, if you are a musician, an entertainer, an artist, we don't need to hear any more raps about girls. Stop.
We don't. We don't need to see any
really
more jiggly jiggly. We don't need to see it anymore.
We don't need jiggly jiggly. We need you to start talking about this.
Talk intelligently.
This is a world that's coming. We need comedians. I believe the human rights battle and the battle against free speech and the battle against authoritarianism is going to be won by comedians.
Absolutely. Because there's that saying in history that the court jester is the only one that never gets beheaded.
Yeah.
He gets away with saying whatever he wants. But these days, though, even comedians are being, shut
even
down
comedians,
for telling a
but
joke.
still, I think that they're going to win this battle at the end of the day for the rest of us. I actually believe that God can use them. We only got a limited amount of time left, and I've really got to show you guys. If you thought that video was shocking, check out this one.
Improving lives, increasing connectivity across the world. That's the great promise offered by data-driven technology.
Stop killing our children! Stop killing our children!
But in China, it also promises greater state control and abuse of power.
Stop killing innocent people! Stop killing innocent people!
This is the next groundbreaking development in data-driven technology: facial recognition. And in China, you can already withdraw cash, check in at airports, and pay for goods using just your face. The country is the world's leader in the use of this emerging technology. And China's many artificial intelligence startups are determined to keep it that way in the future. Companies like Yitu,
We are pioneering artificial intelligence research and innovation in the hope of creating a safer, faster, and healthier world.
第一次发现，参加展会可以不必排队。
Yitu is creating the building blocks for a smart city of the future, where facial recognition is part of everyday life. This could even extend to detecting what people are thinking.
人工智能
Facial recognition, they can read people's emotions, and we are actually now working on these innovative demonstrations and technology.
But the Chinese government has plans to use this new biometric technology to cement its authoritarian rule. The country has ambitious plans to develop a vast national surveillance system based on facial recognition. It'll be used to monitor its 1.4 billion citizens in unprecedented ways, with the capability of tracking everything from their emotions to their sexuality. The primary means will be a vast network of CCTV cameras. 170 million are already in place, and an estimated 400 million new ones will be installed over the next 3 years. The authorities insist this program will allow them to improve security for citizens. And if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. But not everyone is convinced.
这个摄像头现在已经是到处等于是无处不在了。
Hong Shunquai is a former magazine editor who was ousted by the government. He feels like he's under constant surveillance.
我最担心的是我个人的所有的行动行为，我都会被监控到，这是非常可怕的一个事情。
Already the authorities are using facial recognition to name and shame citizens, even for minor offences like jaywalking. In Beijing, they're using the technology to prevent people stealing rolls of loo paper from public toilets. And across China, Police officers are now trialling sunglasses and body cameras loaded with facial and gesture recognition technology. It's helping them to identify wanted suspects in real time. What worries some people here is that as the technology develops, so too does the capacity for it to be abused.
那么所有的人在这个生活当中都处在严密的监控之下你不能做任何政府不喜欢的事情如果是这样子的话，我个人认为就相当于进入一个极权主义的一个状态，这是一个很恐怖的状态。
Some of those most at risk in this hyper-surveillance future are the ethnic minorities in China. In Xinjiang province, the Chinese government is wary of the separatist threat posed by the Muslim Uyghur population. According to local NGOs, an estimated 1 million Uyghurs are being detained indefinitely in secretive internment camps where some are being subject to abuse. It's been called the largest mass incarceration of a minority population in the world today. The authorities are using facial recognition cameras to scan people's faces before they enter markets. The system alerts authorities if targeted individuals stray 300 meters beyond their home. In the future, the government plans to aggregate even more data and build a predictive policing program that imposes even tighter controls here. Without checks and balances, China will keep finding new ways to violate the human rights of its citizens. What's already happening in Xinjiang is a warning the rest of the world must heed.
What?
That's insane, because you're talking about people having things to hide. That's human beings. We all have things to hide. We hide everything. That's why we wear clothes, for goodness sake. We hide everything.
I hate
now
this
what?
logic.
They're going to have cameras that see through our clothes as well?
Exactly. And they do at airports, by the way. Those scanners are raising huge human rights things. So you just see the way the world is going. If you got nothing to hide, you shouldn't be afraid. We all have something to hide.
And what if what I have to hide is not disagreeable, but it's disagreeable to you?
Exactly. What if my Christianity is disagreeable, which, by the way, in the Chinese communist authoritarian government, it is? What if I don't want you to know that? What if I just want my own privacy? Privacy is part of human rights. And the moment you start doing this without ethics, things are going to head into dangerous territory. I have a theory. You disagree with me. I'm never going to be on TikTok. I know all the apps are surveilling us anyway. But for me, unless I see change in an authoritarian government...
Are you going to say never? You're in the media world.
I'm in the media world.
See, to me, to stay out, you can't influence it. You can't change it. But to get inside, why wouldn't you think instead? See Christians sometimes to me, and I'm not putting you in that bracket, but we become so separatist.
You literally are putting me in that bracket.
But you can't transform something from outside. Sometimes you can even be the Trojan horse. Let's say you get inside and you're just blasting how bad it is.
And then they block me or demonetize me like they're doing on YouTube right now.
Fine, but at least you're there. But if you're outside it, how can you change it?
If you're outside it, you can change
Let's
it.
do a live online
intervention
for Tomi.
Can I answer the question?
Let's transform him online.
Can I answer the question how you
Let's try and change his mind.
No, you can change it by writing to your local council government. You can change it by expressing your concern. In the UK, they're actually writing people letters asking them about 5G and what they think about it. All this radiation
and do you really think
is
that's
not
gonna
the
stop
point.
5G?
No, it's not the point. The point is, if I can surveil China with 4G technology, it's nuclear when it hits 5G.
But the world has to go
The
that
world
way.
has to go there, but we have to demand ethics with technology. It can't just be, this is cool, let my 13-year-old download it, and then let somebody watch my 13-year-old getting changed.
If governments of the future are going to survive, they have to go that way.
I get that.
Even
and
the good
I'm
ones,
not
even
saying
the good guys,
we can
because
stop
imagine
that.
now, and this is actually happening, foreign agents, Chinese agents, come into this country, work in ordinary companies to spy and to find out what's going on technologically, which, by the way, is what Huawei's being accused of mass spying. But this is something that's really happening. Now imagine our government, because it doesn't want to surveil its citizens. I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Okay.
I'm not agreeing with myself or disagreeing. I'm just presenting an opposing thought. If our governments, this is the new arms race, this is the new space race, so to speak, we need to be above and beyond our enemies. But I hear the problem. If this technology falls into the wrong hands, it's a bad thing. But for you as a media guy to say, I'm going to never be in TikTok, you best hold that, because there's a recording here. And then in a few years, you might go, man,
my wife is on TikTok.
I need to be on TikTok.
My wife is on
you're
TikTok.
on TikTok if your wife's on it.
Exactly. And exactly. Those present
Harvey's on
huge.
TikTok.
Exactly. And that's what gets to me. The fact that it's exposing my children, whether I like it or not. That's my part that bothers me. What's happening to the next generation? But my conclusion is this. Download the Rig Nation app because you'll be safe. We won't track your other apps. We won't track your data. And we're a Christian app. We have ethics.
You'll never track data?
Okay, so no, let's talk about that.
Data.
Our app is user generated, so our users post their profile pictures and stuff, so they give us that. But we don't track people's fingerprints. We're not getting your facial recognition.
Because you don't need it right now.
No, because we're just not going to do it, because I think ethics is very important. I think only data people consent to giving you,
but
you
is it
should own.
unethical to have people's data?
If it's consensual.
Right.
Yes.
Then. So
with
if there's
TikTok,
permission,
you can only opt out. You don't even know what you're opting into. You just accept
that's
terms
21st
and
century.
conditions.
That's the 21st century marketing, because they know the majority of people are lazy.
And when you're asking me, what do we need to do to change things? My answer is this. We need to demand from our lawmakers. Sorry, someone's texting me. We need to demand from our... Oh, my goodness. We need to demand from our lawmakers that they give us opt-in permission and not opt-out permission.
Okay, but look at
because
this.
I think it's so demonic when all you're telling us is accept these terms and conditions, and if you want, you can opt out. At least tell us what we're giving away and give us the right to opt in. Tell us you're taking our fingerprint.
I know why.
Tell us you're taking our facial
why they
recognition.
do it though. There's a method to the madness. You know why they do it. I think it's Holland or something. One of the largest organ donation countries in the
Even
whole
in the
world.
UK, they're trying to do it.
It's because people are born organ donors. You have to call and opt out. They're doing that in the UK.
Doing that in the
It's
UK.
because they know the majority of people are lazy.
No, don't
majority of
do
people-
that.
no, it's a
Don't do that.
truth.
It's not true. They also
It's
know
true.
the majority
It's
of
literally
people,
true. It's
if
human
given
psychology.
no, they also know the majority of people, if given the choice, don't want to opt in to give their heart or their
That's
liver
my
or their kidney.
point.
That's not laziness. We just don't want to do it.
But also, if we're in, we won't call to opt out.
Yes,
right
but
now, you're an
here's
organ
the bigger
donor.
problem.
Right now, you're an organ
exactly.
donor. Have you called to
Yes,
opt
I
out?
have actually.
Don't
because
lie.
I have. Ask my wife. Because here's the bigger problem.
I'm calling Tamar
Here's
now.
no, ask her. Because
I
here's
don't
the
believe
no,
you.
ask her. Because here is the bigger problem. Here's the bigger problem that nobody thinks about.
Why don't you want to be an
Let
organ
me
donor?
tell you why I want to be an organ donor with my own permission. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because the moment I'm born into this world, into a world where I don't get to opt in, my
have
body is owned by the state. That's
True.
what they're saying. And I can only opt out of that state ownership of my body. How dare you? That gets on my nerves. So I opt out, not because I don't want to give my organs. What just happened? Did we
Camera
just
off.
lose speed? Battery died. This is live, folks. I'm sorry. I'm going to switch to camera 2 and just talk to my brother for a second. I opt out not because I don't want my body to be given to somebody in donation. I opt out because I don't want my body to be owned by the government.
Absolutely. I agree with that. But the majority of people will not opt out.
Man.
They will not opt out. This guy needs Pepto-Bismol. Can somebody please grab this brother some Pepto-Bismol and send it to his house,
guys.
please?
We're back. Let me know if you agree with me. Comment below, please.
No, I agree.
Do you agree with
I
this,
don't know why
dude?
you got so
Or do you
angry. Did you all see that? That spirit manifest? Out. Did you see it? I don't disagree with what you're saying.
All right. I was just making sure. Because I don't know.
He had a real spiritual manifestation. He needs some sozo.
All right. We got to go. I got to get one more video in because I love what we're saying, but I love more what God says. And, you know, I've probably given about 3 prophecies. You've given some amazing prophecies. I've told you send them to me. You haven't sent them. So I'm just going to share this prophetic word that I gave concerning, I believe, the time we're in right now.
Yeah.
Check this out.
The Lord says, get ready for the great reshuffle of nations. I will shake the heavens and the earth shall be moved. I will force the hand of the UK and surrounding allies to stand for Hong Kong. And where many thought this would be an issue that would be swept under the rug, I will let it rise, and from it shall come a year of justice and rightness. For a human right violation will make way for a righteous indignation and a righteous move of God. And it will cause the UK to roar like a lion and to recover her roar. And God will back a campaign in the earth to take back the ruined places of the nation. In 2020, God says, I will rain down my justice, and it will be the year in the nation to take it back and recover all.
So, bro, what do you think about that? Because I actually believe that we're in that time right now where it says, I'll shake the heavens and the earth will be moved. And notice when this Wuhan virus went around the earth to 5 million people, Hong Kong thing just disappeared. I mean, they were singing, protesting. There was change coming. They were protesting. Do you hear the people sing? Singing the songs of angry men. It's the music of a people who will not be slaves again.
Yes.
And there was noise going all over the world. Even Trump was backing them.
Yeah.
And then this virus breaks out. They all scatter. I had somebody write to me a snide comment. Well, where's your justice now coming in 2020? Hong Kong is scattered. But I
What's
believe...
wrong with people?
I know.
Let's just
Christians.
start. What's
This
wrong
was a
with
Christian,
people?
by the way. But anyway, I believe what God is doing is he is letting this human rights violation rise. I believe the world is going to turn at the end of this whole crisis, which this too will pass. Probably come back, but it will pass. The hype of it will pass. I believe once the hype of it passes, we'll all go, how much did China know? And there will be a cry.
I hope there's going to be an entire investigation, and I believe there's going to be an entire uncovering, but I also believe there'll be a cover-up.
I believe there'll be a cover-up, but I believe this is a call to action for the church to pray.
People have like,
I actually do
what's
believe
the
that.
Word? It's something dissidence. When people feel they know something, but they just
Cognitive dissonance.
That's it. They know it, but they just don't have. They don't care.
They don't have the feeling.
We don't
It's
care.
like when the
Like,
London guys were stabbed, and you
Yeah.
read it in the newspaper. After a while, you just kind of
You
distance
just become
yourself
distant.
from it.
It's like when the Twin Towers fell down and Building 7 fell. No one's like,
I was actually. That was pretty deep.
huh?
That was pretty deep. I was pretty emotional.
No, but when Building 7, the other building, the third building, just fell. Wasn't hit by any planes. Do you know that one, Building 7?
No.
What?
Are you a conspiracy theorist?
No, but it's crazy though.
Oh, gosh.
I'm not even, we'll do this on the next show.
Yeah.
Think about
oh,
it. No,
gosh.
don't go
Oh,
crazy
man.
here.
I'm going to
Don't
put
go-
the camera
Did
directly
you know
on
the
your
term
crazy.
conspiracy theory was developed by the CIA?
Oh, gosh.
Did you actually know that? No, true
Oh,
fact.
goodness.
But anyway, no, think about this. Oh, you're going to make me look like a fool.
The
on
camera
here
is
now.
solely on you for this
Let
point,
me say what I'm going to
because I
say.
cannot
Research
contain my
it and
facial-
tell me what you come up with. 2 buildings fall down in 9/11. We'll talk about this another day.
I
if you
heard
think
this.
it's
and
worth
the
it.
second building, when it fell, the way it fell, it looked like a demolition.
No, the 2 buildings fell, bruh. That's fine. That's not my problem. downtown in New York, why did Building 7 fall without a plane hitting it? And it's a CIA building and it fell demolition.
I never heard of Building 7, so hey, that's another conversation for another time.
We'll talk
Man,
that
you gotta stay
Oh,
focused.
you haven't heard this?
You gotta stay focused.
Word.
But I believe, in final thoughts, my opinion, I'm gonna let you have your final say.
Okay. My
opinion is, I think it's time to boycott TikTok. And I know it's an unpopular opinion, boycotting. But if you're going to take my kids' geolocation, their face, their fingerprint, their micro-expressions, and collect that data and give it to an authoritarian government and not give them the permission to opt in, but only give them opt-out permission, I don't trust you. That's my final thought. I laid it on the table. There, I said it.
My thought is, boy, it's the way the world's going.
It is.
And we can't always affect culture by being countercultural. We can't always change culture by opting out and not being involved. Neither should we be in everything. Where do I draw the line? If you tell me I have to renounce Jesus Christ and I have to walk away from him, he's not the Son of God, I draw the line there. Do you know what I'm saying? But I can't be countercultural. Like somebody said, when they put out this horrible thing about Jesus on Netflix, everyone boycott Netflix. But why didn't we think instead as Christians, how can we get our content? Now, some Christians have found a way to get their content onto Netflix and influence it. I think we can use our influence to transform. That's my thoughts.
So let us know what you think. If you're watching us live, comment
politely.
Please like, please subscribe, please share. If you're watching us later on, comment in the box below. But again, share, like, and comment and subscribe. In conclusion, download the Rig Nation app because it's safe. We're not going to sell your data, share it on, do any crazy things. Search Rig Nation in your Android and App Store. This is Tobi and Tomi. We've been on the table. Hope you've enjoyed it. Take care.
We all have a life.
No west, no bad. No ladies, no dudes, female, no female. No.
Thank you so much for watching this video. We really do hope that you enjoyed it. Now, do not forget to subscribe to this channel. All you have to do is press that red button down below and make sure you click the notification button so you're notified every single time we post a brand new video. And one more thing, check out the link in the description box below and make sure you download the Rig Nation app. And remember, get rigged.